Hey everyone, back to another chess video. Going to be doing some more puzzles. So 1200 to 2300 puzzles, all themes. Let's take a look at the first one. So knights, bishop, knights, queen. Looking at my back rank. My back rank is pretty weak. Rook's not connected. I'm not castled. Black is looking to be in a much more threatening position than white. So let's see what threats I have. This rook is protected by the knight here, there, and there. Takes. We have to go there, and then I think take. Okay. Um, Queen takes pawn. Pawn is pinned, and king is a bit weak. Just these two squares. So I'm up a rook and bishop. Maybe there's a way I can get this rook off the board and then capture the queen and be up a piece. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Removing the only defender of this queen and then being up a piece. I see I can give a check here. Rook would have to take. I can sack a rook for the. I could sack another rook, and then the king would have to take. Then I can capture the queen, and I'll be up a bishop in the endgame. So let's just double check here. You have to take. Takes, 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 and here. Okay. Bishop, knight. Two bishops and a knight. Bishop versus knight, knight. Rooks. Rooks are on the board. Queens are on the board. Okay. So this queen is threatening h8, just protected by this knight. So maybe is there a way that I can either kick this knight out, or can I win the queen? What are my threats? This bishop is staring here, only protected by the queen. This knight is undefended. So I'm seeing if I take this bishop, the queen cannot attack h8 because it'll be defended by the knight, and then this knight will be undefended. If I take, the only attack on my queen is stacking a bishop here, but then I can just take here. Take, and you take knight, so I think that's going to be it. I think it's winning a piece here. And take. Okay. Two bishops, two knights. Two knights, two bishops. King safety is pretty poor for my end. My knight is attacking their king, or their queen. This knight is attacking my queen. So what I'm thinking this is a puzzle of is kind of calculating to the end of all the captures that are going to be done. And when you're doing this, you want to double check which captures come with check and which captures end with a piece being either in the corner of the board or something where it has no escape squares and has no choice but to be captured. So as I'm looking at this, I see knight takes queen, knight takes queen, knight takes knight with check. Maybe king goes there. And then if I have any other captures. I don't have any other captures for that knight that can be a check or a forcing move. So maybe I capture this knight, capture here, and then queen off the board, knight off the board, here, losing two knights and a queen for my knight. Takes, 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 check. There, I take. This bishop will be open, but that can be captured. This bishop isn't staring at anything, and there's no rooks coming to the center or anything like that. So I think it's knight captures queen, knight captures queen, knight captures knight with check, king f2, or I guess king e2 even, and then probably bishop takes best. Then if any pawn moves, capture. Okay, with check. Bishop out, pinning my knight. Queen threatening this this pawn. Bishop looking at the pawn. If I take, you can just back rank me. Actually, if I take, and then I can block with the knight. And this bishop won't be threatening the knight anymore. Takes, takes, takes. Here, I don't have any moves like any discoveries on the queen. Maybe takes here, blocking with a rook. And then takes. I feel like taking this bishop is good. Forcing move. Checks, captures, attacks. I don't have any checks, captures. I have this bishop capture. I don't think a waiting and like an h3 is going to be the move, but I think takes, can't take, you can't take. Let's say takes, takes, and then what's the material there? Takes, rook, take your queen, bishop here, bishop out, threatening the bishop, take. So you're down bishop for a rook. I don't think that's good. Right? That'll be takes. Here. Just taking with a rook is better. If I take here, you just take the knight, the rook, and then I take back. If I take here, take good, take back with the queen. Pawn is hanging, and then I go bishop out. Taking with the rook is better. Yeah, taking with the rook is better. All right. Rook endgame, 1-2, 1-2 pawns versus rooks. So here I'm seeing this rook making contact maybe with these. This pawn can give me a check. I can go here. Then you just here and take my pawn. I have a check this way. And then you come here. I take the rook. Can't take my rook because then I just promote. I can give a check. Go here. I'm taking rook. I think the idea here is to give a check to the king, to remove it as the only defender to the rook. So let's think. Check. You come here. And I can give a check on d2. Can't just pull back because then I capture the rook. So check. The only move to maintain contact with the rook is 2. I give another check on d2. Can't go back because then I just capture the rook. So you capture my rook. I capture yours. And then you're too far away from that pawn to capture it before it promotes. And I'm in front of this pawn, so that's not promoting. And you're not getting over to h2 to capture that pawn. So I think it's check, check, here, and you're too far away from that pawn. All right. Knight, bishop, rooks, queen, queen, knight, bishop, two rooks. Okay. Think about checks, captures, attacks. Checks, captures, attacks. I have a check here. Capture, but it doesn't really. Obvious threat is them to my queen. Their knight is coming in, threatening some nastiness. Let's think. Check. There. Eh. Here takes check. Oh, you just capture. Here. Rook here. Does me no good. Takes. Takes. Okay, what about is it as queen sack? Captures. Because of this check. Forcing move check. There. Check. King there. Queen takes 5. Rook takes. Queen takes. Bishop captures. Down and takes. Takes. Bishop takes. A queen here. Here. Is a tough one. Not seeing what the idea is. The idea. Don't have any back rank checks. Looking for force move checks, capture attacks. F3. Here. I've seen puzzles where the idea is just simply to stop the mating attack, but the idea. Check. Only forcing move I'm seeing is check. I don't see where else that goes. Like, king can just go to the corner, and then that's kind of it for the takes. Rook takes. That's right. there. Hmm. This is not an easy. The only forcing move I'm seeing is knight f3. 3. I don't see any escape squares for my pull back. Knight comes. Hmm. Bishop takes. Right, the only move I'm seeing is this knight check. I've been sitting on this for a little bit, but I don't. What else to? I'm gonna give a knight check. Okay, rook takes. And I guess check. Can't just capture it. Here. Takes. Check. They've blocking with the bishop. Takes. Check. Take. Tough one. Let's look at some of the lines that I was looking at because I don't know what would it. Maybe I was. I just must have been calculating it wrong. But the knight move, and then let's think. There, here, king here, king h1. Why is king h1 bad? Why is king h1 bad? Oh, because bishop takes. Not see that. Bishop takes. There. There. Wow. I was just blind to that. All right. Try to get a couple more in. Pawn takes with check. Dark squared bishop restricting me. Back here. Here. And knight move. Okay. Takes. Check. Here. No other checks you can give. From here, there's no knight checks. Pawn checks. Here. Get us take. There. There. Okay. Bishops, two knights, two bishops, bishops, two knights. Okay. looking at each other, or this knight's gonna get taken in a minute. So maybe some desperado. When you have a piece that's getting threatened and there's no good squares, you might just have to desperado in exchange for a pawn. Something is better than nothing. So let's see. Knight takes, king takes, knight takes with check. And you could block with a pawn, but then recapture, you take. There with check. Capture the rook. I don't know. Takes. Knight here. Um, on here. If maybe it's not the order. Maybe I don't desperado sack first. Like take with check. I take with check. Bishop takes. Knight takes. Can't capture it. Your queen's under attack. Your queen comes, I don't know, like here. And then I capture with the bishop. Takes here. And takes. Maybe you don't capture back. You just 8. Then check with this. I don't know. Can give a check, then bring my queen out. I think this is going to start check. Queen there. Oh, no. Check. Yeah. Takes. Maybe there. Queen there. For checkmate. Takes. Takes. Check. Takes. There. Takes. There. All right, I think that's going to be the move. And then, boom. What am I at? 23 minutes. Let's do one more. Let's do a nice even 10. Good tactics training. So, all right. So this is a endgame. This is a pretty instructive endgame because outside passed pawn, they do have a bishop, but they are restricted for the one move, the one square that they can really attack this pawn. So I'm thinking just sacking the rook and then pushing this pawn up the board. And then the king is too late. This bishop can't come here. There's nothing on this diagonal. I think it's sack. King takes pawn h4. Here. 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 And you're too late. So very instructive puzzle, actually, because a lot of times you'll have a bishop that, depending on where the outside pawn is, they can either completely cut off the outside pawn and restrict it, or they made a poor pawn move and then blocked in their bishop, thinking they're protecting their pawn on their way to promoting, but actually they've just completely blocked in their bishop from capturing the passed pawn. So I'm thinking it's this. If I'm wrong, then I'll see what the engine says. But all right, so let's see what the engine says here. Oh, it likes just pushing straight away. It likes just pushing straight away. And then maybe here, here. Look at that with the analysis, because I'm not sure. that's the solution. But what was wrong with with my calculation? Could the king have actually made it there? Could the bishop have defended? Let's look. King c4 was the move. King c4. Waiting for the end to match up. 4. Rook b3. Takes b3. And it's even. Okay, so what I miss? h4. King c4. 5. e5. Here. 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 h7 check. King here. Oh, then you're on this crazy long diagonal. Wow, I did not calculate that right. I did not calculate that right. So, it likes just pushing straight away, keeping this diagonal blocked, and this bishop can't come here because you'll capture it. Can't push because you'll capture. You walk your if you spend a couple tempo walking your king down, eventually the rook will just sack itself as this pawn pushes up the board. Wow, I calculated that wrong. So that should be marked as a miss. I missed that one. That was I got to study my end games. That was not a good move for me. Here, h4. Let's say here. I'm assuming h5 is best. Waiting for the engine to catch up. Yeah, h5 is best. What if you try to do the bishop move then? Bishop d5. 6. Here. 7. Okay, you just can't stop. Wow. All right. Great puzzle. I just completely miscalculated that. That the bishop is going to come here and block. So definitely need to study my end games. But thank you all for staying around for some puzzle training. I'll see you guys in the next one.